Do you remember a rumor from 20 years ago? It was said that the Japanese government, for some reason, created a half-human, half-whale artificial creature and released it into the Antarctic waters. Many sailors reportedly saw this creature and took numerous photos, but the Japanese government later destroyed this evidence to avoid unnecessary attention and disputes. This attracted widespread attention on online forums at the time and even led to some denunciations of the Japanese government. And this extraordinary mysterious creature is our main subject today, the Antarctic artificial human, Ningen. The name Ningen comes from the Japanese word for human, indicating its high similarity to humans. It is usually depicted as a white, whale-like humanoid creature with a body length of 20 to 30 meters, possessing arms and legs similar to humans. However, it is sometimes described as having fins or a mermaid-like large tail instead of legs, and some even claim it has tentacles. Although Ningen is not as famous as classic monsters like the kappa, it has still become an urban legend in Japan. The earliest sighting of Ningen occurred in the last century. The crew conducting exploration activities in Antarctica saw a huge, snow-white object. Initially, they thought it was a foreign submarine, but upon further observation, they were shocked to discover it was a living, breathing entity. As they passed by, they took photos of this creature and watched it effortlessly and silently swim along the sea surface, disappearing into the cold, dark waters. From the photos, this animal appears massive, entirely white and clean, looking like an irregular entity covered with a thin, human-like skin. After the first sighting spread via the internet, other fishing boats in the South Pacific also began reporting sightings of a huge, strange creature near the Antarctic Circle. Moreover, these descriptions are always remarkably consistent, stating that this gigantic creature has a distinct pale white body, a round head, two eyes located above a large slit, and limb-like appendages similar to human arms and legs. Almost all sighting reports describe the creature's size as ranging from 20 to 30 meters. Over time, numerous images of various forms of the Ningen have circulated on the internet, along with some low-quality videos of unknown origin. Some people speculate that the Japanese government covers up the existence of the Ningen because it might produce a rare compound that is highly toxic, which could be used for medicinal purposes or weaponization. There are also conspiracy-laden stories saying that mysterious men in black threaten the lives of anyone claiming to have seen the Ningen or trying to expose its secrets. What truly brought the Ningen to the spotlight is this famous picture. This image comes from an article in a Japanese magazine from November, which talks about a long white object seen in Google Earth satellite photos, with the coordinates located off the southwest coast of Africa, Namibia. From the photo, the object's body has distinct segments, and the front part looks like a human head. The appearance is very similar to the legendary Ningen. Soon, this photo caused a huge sensation. Many people discussed and believed this was irrefutable evidence of Ningen's existence. The story of Ningen also caused a stir in Japan following the magazine's report. Since then, numerous stories, sightings, and so-called photographic evidence related to the Ningen have been made public, most of which are so clear that they arouse suspicion. Moreover, these photos also feature versions that are vastly different from previous descriptions. For example, this most famous photo of the Ningen coming ashore, due to its fame, has even spawned memes and various merchandise. I don't know what level this image product was back then. Apart from the early circulated videos of riding on Ningen, in 2010, there was another classic video on the internet. This footage was taken by the Japan Agency for Marine Earth Science and Technology at a depth of 1,000 meters in the eastern sea of Japan. Many people believe this is the legendary Ningen. By the big AI era of 2023, such purely deceptive special effects have already appeared. Compared to this, I would rather watch some mount visuals. Regarding the origin of the Ningen story, there are roughly two theories. Some people believe it comes from the Japanese folklore of the humanoid water demon Umibozu. It is a sea monster in Japanese legend, usually described as a gigantic, entirely black creature. Approximately 15 to 18 meters in length, its image is that of a large, dark bald monk with only a pair of glowing blue eyes visible, and the facial details are unclear. The Umibozu often appears on the sea surface during storms or at dusk and is the monster that fishermen fear most when working at sea. Its appearance usually foretells impending disaster. The Umibozu is a part of traditional Japanese culture, and its image and stories hold a place in Japanese folklore, also appearing in some modern popular culture works. But essentially, the image of the Umibozu still comes from the demonization of pirates. Some people believe that the story of Ningen actually derives from the 1958 Antarctic Godzilla sighting, a very famous large Antarctic unidentified mysterious animal case. On February 13, 1958, a Japanese research vessel named Soya encountered a strange creature in Lutso-Holm Bay. According to the crew of the Soya, the monster appeared about 300 meters from the ship. The creature has a pair of large eyes and two small pointed ears, resembling a cow from the front, with a rounded head covered in brown hair about 10 meters long. The monster's head and back emerged from the water with a rough fin on its back, and the size and shape of its body were indeterminate. The chief engineer on the ship, upon seeing this, hurried to his room to get a camera, but by the time he returned, the monster had already submerged, thus missing the opportunity to photograph the creature. This incident was recorded in the Antarctic transport memoirs of the captain of the Soya. At that time, since the Japanese monster movie Godzilla was extremely popular, the captain thought some features of this creature were similar to Godzilla, so it was called the Antarctic Godzilla. However, in fact, the story of Ningen did not originate from these. It is a complete hoax. Since the English name for mermaid in Japanese mythology is Ningu, they cleverly created this mysterious half-human, half-whale creature. Later, even an Arctic version of this creature appeared, called Sidogata, meaning human form. It is worth mentioning that MU Magazine, which played a crucial role in spreading the story of Ningen, is a media outlet that specializes in publishing various bizarre events, including but not limited to conspiracy theories, mysterious creatures, UFO, and supernatural abilities. As this urban legend gradually became famous, Ningen was given various names, one of which means God of all things, indicating that in the eyes of these people, it might be related to gods or the supernatural. The story of Ningen comes to an end. While making some criticisms, we also need to consider why the story of this artificial Antarctic creature has circulated on the internet for such a long time and attracted worldwide attention. A paper published in the year 2020 in a modeling magazine summarized and discussed this issue. The author believes that the interest in this humanoid whale-like creature in the 21st century may reflect the complex emotions of Japanese society towards whaling. Japan's whaling culture has a long history, so the appearance of this story has some cultural significance in Japan and appears in manga, anime, and other forms of art. However, even now, the so-called Japanese Cetacean Research Institute still hunts whales under the guise of biological and social science research on whales. On the other hand, due to the online discussion spaces in the early years, this environment became a breeding ground for urban legends and other strange stories. In addition to websites specifically introducing certain UMA entities, there are many online sites, such as the Mystery Cave Encyclopedia, that have nurtured a large number of pseudoscience, science fiction, and suspense stories over the past 15 years. In this context, the widespread discussion of Ningen actually reflects people's curiosity about folklore, drawing on previous themes of aquatic folklore monsters while reflecting these themes in a present-day setting. Ningen can be considered a big manifestation of imagination, proposed by Hayward, representing how this kind of thinking has begun to become a broad social imagination. These stories add a deeper core to the mystery of the Ningen. Nowadays, these legendary storylines have been widely adapted with the arrival of modern media, attracting wave after wave of audiences. Modern explanations often combine traditional elements of the Ningen legend with new storylines, resembling with present-day audiences while sparking interest in ancient myths and modern consciousness among a new generation of children, becoming a window for them to understand the larger world. Well, that's all for this video. If you like this series, please give it a thumbs up to support us. See you next time.